we doing, everybody? Welcome back to Tour Life. Today is Tuesday, October 14th. We got a great episode for you guys today. We are going to bring on first time major champion. I know everyone loves saying the 1X. AB will be joining the show shortly. We're going to be doing a full recap of everything that went down at USDGC this past week. A lot of good stuff to talk about. Before we jump into it, Yuli, Gary, how we doing, guys?
Doing good. I'm gassed though. I'm tired. I'm very, very tired. We decided to just drive up this morning, and in order to make the practice run, we had to leave it I had to get up at like 3:30,
Oh
and
no.
so not a
Yeah.
lot of sleep. And then we played. These courses are monstrosities. They're monsters, man. They are far. The new London course,
Yeah.
man, that is a big, 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 big course.
It's a good one. I described it a lot of we play a lot of par fours on tour where if you throw a great drive, your second shot, you're always going to get, something to give yourself a look. Or
Mhm.
if you throw a bad drive, you can always bail out and throw it a credible second shot. There, you have to throw two really good shots on pretty much every par four to
Yeah.
get a
Yeah,
birdie look. Like
Gotta
you
yeah.
be luck.
can't bail yourself out. So that'll be really, really fun. Gary, how's it going, man?
It's going great. I did the same thing. I hopped in the car for 6 hours, get jumped out of the car, played a full round, and now I'm
Jeez.
doing my thing. And both my wife and I, we have like the allergy thing going. So I got an Airbnb with 2 bedrooms, so we can both sneeze and cough all night and not wake each other up.
There you go.
Good times.
Oh, that's clutch. That's clutch.
I went to the PT on Friday. He had me feeling good. And so Saturday, I think he was telling me, like, hey, if you want, you can start jogging for like 2 minutes and then walk and then, jog again and walk. And so I went out for a run on Saturday for the first time in a really long time. And I was an idiot. I was like, I feel so good. Screw that. I'm just going to do the entire run. And also my legs are so fresh because I haven't ran in a week. So like I'm running pretty quick. Woke up the next day in shambles. So like I'm back to like square one. My left side is all jacked up
You gotta
now.
listen to the PT, man.
Idiot. Like a freaking idiot, man. So like
Mhm.
that's why I'm standing right now because sitting down it hurts like a mug. So we're doing a little standing podcast, but it'll still be a good one. Very excited to get AB on here to talk about it. But before we do that, Yuli, do you want to kind of just go through how your week went out there?
Yeah, man, busy week for sure. Being in the the hometown and everything. We had too many people staying in my house. I'll tell you that much. Every year, I'm like, all right,
What was
next
the
year I'm gonna
number
cut.
at?
Uh, oh, I think 10 or more. It was crazy. Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. It was.
Wow.
It got out of control quick. But when I was coming up in the game, like having a
Yeah.
spot to stay was a big deal, and it was always a dream of mine to have a nice spot at a big tournament. So kind of
Help people
every
out.
time, yeah, every time somebody's like, "Hey, man, you got a spot?" I'm like, "All right, we'll find something for you." So that was a little stressful, but the tournament it went okay. I just botched it the first round, man. Hole 17 finally got me. I was actually playing pretty good. Hole 9 got me. I hit like the pole, rolled out of bounds on my upshot. I didn't even make the island, and then with that course, like you get a little bit unlucky and it'll turn bad quick. So I tripled 9 the first round. I was 2 under at that point, which is solid after the front 9. Not really where you want to be, but not the worst.
Yeah, still in a good
Bat,
spot.
yeah, battle back to probably shoot around even or 1, 2 under is what I was hoping, and then 17 got me for the first time in my career, man. I've never.
How many?
Wow.
I took a 7. Yeah, I took a 7. It was the third
So
time ever that
one,
I've missed the
two.
island. Um, ever since 2006. So I have no trauma on that hole, and now I finally do. Which I was making fun of it, being like, "You couldn't get me when I was younger." That's right. You got to pick on an old guy. Come on, man.
Yeah. Well, it's good
But
that's later in your life, so that way you don't have that scar tissue going back there
yeah,
every single
yeah.
time.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And so that really put me behind the 8 ball. That jump, I was 1 over at the time, thinking I could get back to, like I said, like even 1 under, and then 7 right in your eyeball. Um,
Hmm.
and I end up shooting a 5 over, and I'm in like 90th or something at that point, and then shot 2 solid rounds after that. Really was in control. Not my best stuff. Ended up going the 3rd round to the last couple holes, trying to push to make the cut, and I ended up birdieing 18 to actually make the cut, which was nice.
Nice.
So I got to play on Sunday, which I think I would have been pretty devastated if I couldn't do that in front of the home crowd. So it was
Sure.
cool to be out there and play. I didn't play great the final round, but it was pretty bad conditions. And then got done in time to be able to go watch kind of the back nine in person, which was huge. But that was my week. Yeah, not the best play. It was a lot of good play mixed in with some unfortunate stuff and some bad play on top of it. But anytime you can make the cut at that tournament, you probably play pretty good.
It's a tough course to hide. Like if there's a part of your game that you're struggling with, or if you have a hole that you throw a bad shot on, it's really, really hard to just be able to like minimize the mistakes out there. We
Mhm.
see from almost everyone, at least one hole at some point is going to get you. And obviously, for some people out there, it's more than one hole. And I think that's also what makes the course so special is you don't necessarily know when it's going to happen either, or where it's going to happen. There's so many different holes on there
Yeah.
that you think, oh, I'm fine. I got this one figured out, and all of a sudden you're getting a bogey that's devastating or a double that's devastating. And yeah, we kind of saw it
Yeah.
a little bit in the final round. On the MPO side, but it was mostly the pars that got people. They just weren't getting enough birdies to kind of stay in it. But we'll kind of talk a little bit more about what went down the final round at the tournament when we get AB on here in a second. What was
Yeah.
the overall um, attendance like this year? How were the crowds out there? They looked very
Oh,
big from
they're
coverage.
incredible, incredible, bigger than they've ever been for sure, without a doubt. And that was like every day, which was awesome.
Mm,
Um, yeah, they were everywhere. Pretty much every card had people following them, and people were lined up on fives, 6, and 7. That nice spot right there. Final day was incredible. People just absolutely everywhere. I mean, that's what you get for the USDGC. It's one of those courses that's just like perfect for spectators. It's perfect for the best in the world. I hope it's a place that we get to play for a very, very long time.
yeah.
Um, but who knows? Who knows? Yeah, I was really impressed this year. The staff did amazing. The course was immaculate. It was windy every single day, which was I've never seen it that windy every day. I've seen like one day windy, one day calm. And so that
Yeah.
really messed a lot of people up because practice days weren't windy, and then all of a sudden the tournament starts, you have that crazy wind coming off the water there just on one, and it stayed the same direction every single day, which was good. So you could kind of formulate a game plan, which is on that course, if you don't have a game plan, like, you're done. You're absolutely done. Like, there's no thinking on the fly out there. Like, you have to be committed on every single shot. This is what I do. And I actually saw that bite a lot of people, to where you could tell that they were like, I don't really know what to do here, have a couple discs in their
Mm.
hand, and then all of a sudden, out of bounds here and out of bounds there. I think that's why I was able to actually make the cut. I mean, I was 8 back of the cut after the first round, which
It's
is a ton of
crazy.
Yeah.
strokes, a ton of strokes to gain on the best players in the world.
That's a
Gary,
testament
go
to
ahead.
it. I think like the marathon aspect of USDGC, where you have that looming somewhere, the course is going to get you at some point, and when you add the wind, it's like every day you're going through hours and hours of like these decisions. It's just not only is it physically demanding, it's mentally exhausting to play on the USDGC course. It, with Now that you've played all 4 rounds in the event, what did you think of like the couple major changes to the course? Did you like them? Do you hope they stay, or you want to see them kind of get reverted back?
I did. I actually wasn't sure that I like 9, but I really like 9. I think it's
Nine looked
fair.
like it played better.
Yeah.
I think it's tough. I think it gives you all kinds of options. I really like 9. What else was there?
Hole 3 with the other pin.
I didn't like
Yeah,
3
new
with the
pen
other
3.
pin. No, I'm not a big
Yeah.
fan of that. I did like the new T-pad changes where they just moved it off the sidewalk to where you could throw off of there. That was a nice
Yeah.
touch. Um, but no, I thought typically they miss very rarely with changes,
Hmm.
and I like to see a course improve and get harder and harder and harder.
Yeah.
Um, it's a game and everybody progresses. You have to make it a bit harder here and there, but this is a type of course where, man, every year I'm like, all right, let's just keep it like this for a little bit and
Yeah.
grow that rich tradition. But no, I feel like they hit it out of the park with the new changes, honestly.
Yeah, I like 9 because it goes from the second easiest hole on the course to at some points being the second hardest. So I think it changes the mentality going into 10. So if you take that bogey on 9, now you're walking into 10, maybe asking yourself, do I play the safe play? Do I go for it because maybe I took something I didn't want to? So pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think what not the change on 9, what I think it shows for future course designers and tournament directors is that sweet spot of distance, Yuli, right? Is to have, I would say like the beach hole is a really good par three hole. And it's
Mm,
because it gives you have a very specific shot shape that you need to throw on that hole. It's low ceiling. If you swing out too far to the right, you're going to catch one of those trees and drop OB. If you're too inside, you're either going to hit that big tree by the short of the green, or you're going to end up skipping and going OB left. And if you throw something too fast, too overstable, and it comes in with a lot of skip, it's going to skip OB as well. Like, it's not a very far shot. Like, most people on tour could throw a mid range there if they wanted to, but the shot that it's asking you to throw is very, very demanding. Same thing as like hole 4. That's another, not a super long, not incredibly long, but because of the shot shape it's asking, it plays long and it plays challenging.
mm.
When you go to a hole like 9, of where it's more out in the open, right? You only like people could go right at it if they wanted to. We saw different people were flipping stuff up. We saw people throwing big spike hyzers into it. It really allowed you to throw whatever shot you kind of wanted there. Obviously, it did look like that tree was kind of not allowing you to go as high, maybe as some players wanted. But when you go to that distance, which I think, what was it, right around 400, right? Just short of it. Was it like
Three,
380 to clear the OB, I think?
395 on hole 9
So
in
about
total.
380, 85. I think
Yeah.
that's like the sweet spot, Yuli. We need to see more distances on par threes there, because when you start getting to that 400-foot marker with a small landing zone, that's where you really see a lot of people make mistakes. Like, if you throw a bad shot, you're going to get punished there. Where if it's a 330-foot, 340-foot shot, bad shots get you like circle 2 putts a lot of times. So we'll see. Do we got AB? AB hopping on?
Yeah,
Is
he's
he ready to
calling in
go,
right now.
Yules?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, sweet. We'll get him on here. Um, Boys, before he gets on here, our big germ, Sexton, Will Shoestrix. Will Shoestrix. I don't know what we ended up all saying our
Should have
number
told Will.
was. It was tough, Yuli. I don't know if you saw the finishing places. We had a 104, we had a 67, and we had an 88 for a total combined finish of 259.
Not
Tough
good.
week out for the lads. Tough
Not
week
good.
out for the lads.
yeah,
I was hoping for, I was thinking maybe a sneaky like top 20 for Sexton, but
yeah,
I don't think he's been playing much,
yeah.
would be my
No,
guess.
and Germ had a really tough first round. He played solid after that, a little even par and a one
He
under, which
battled.
wasn't bad. Yeah,
He battled a little
yeah, but
bit,
it
but
was tough. It
Mhm.
was tough.
it was tough out there. Definitely tough out there. Let's see here. I don't want to get too much into it because I want to ask AB obviously a lot of these questions. Um,
He should be coming on any second. You should
Okay.
be coming on. What do we got as
Okay.
far as live? All the people out there. Appreciate you guys being here too. What up?
Yeah, we got a decent crew coming on. All right,
Oh,
here he is, AB,
champs are
Hello.
major champion, my friend. How good does that sound?
Sounds pretty damn good, honestly.
I mean, let's just talk about it. It wasn't that long ago that, the noise out there was this guy can't win. This guy can't win. You shut that noise up very, very quickly, and then all of a sudden, obviously, like in every sport, we got to move the goalposts. It's like, well, this guy can't win a major. And then bang, you knock that out of the park already as well. It feels like this momentum and this, incline that you've had these last two seasons is really, really has kind of skyrocketed a little bit. Was this something that was always expected, kind of going into, let's just say going into last season? Did you kind of think that you were going to be a tournament winner and a one-time major winner at the end of the season?
I mean, ever since I broke through and won chess.com for the first time, I knew like I'd put myself in that position to win so many different times. Like it was bound to just happen, and then I was gonna go on streaks where I'd win, hopefully, eventually. And then I think right after Calvin won his major, I remember I came on here and you're like, so now you're the best player in the world that hasn't won a major championship. And then
Yep.
right after I lost at Worlds, I felt like I had a good chance to win the tournament and didn't close it down there. And then me and Yuli talked, and then just all my focus has just been on this tournament for the past 2.5 months. And I kept telling everyone, like, I'm going to win USDGC. Like, there's no other option. And then, like, the whole week, I just, like, I don't know what it was. It was like, I remember telling myself, like, the final round, because I found myself in the past saying, like, talking to myself saying like, oh, you don't have to win this one, like you're gonna have so many chances. But during
Mm.
that final round I was telling myself like, there's like, now is the time, like today's the day that you're gonna win a tournament. And I don't know, I just spoke it into existence and just went perfectly.
It is funny how we like to try to build excuses for ourselves
Yeah.
about when something goes wrong or something doesn't go your way. You try to almost ease yourself by saying like, "Oh, it's not that big of a deal if it doesn't happen now. I've got plenty of years on my
Yeah.
to get it." But to do what you just did, it's very challenging to quiet that noise and say,
Mhm.
"No, like let me get it right now. It's right there for the taking. Let me go after it." And it's also a scary one too, because now it's like you're putting all that pressure internally on yourself as well.
Yeah.
And you got it done, man, which is, I mean, hats off to you, because I think this is one of the harder courses to actually win down the stretch. You can't just kind of putz your way
Yeah.
along and win it. You got to throw really freaking good shots, pretty much starting almost like on hole 9. It's just a
Mhm.
gauntlet of really, really tough holes where you could take brutal doubles or triples that pretty much can end your tournament. Gary, did you have a question for him?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say you mentioned in your interview beforehand that you kind of been feeling burnt out recently. So it's like, what do you do to get yourself amped up? I know you said you were looking forward to this event. Like, what is the preparation like that's different compared to recent events that goes into an event like USDGC that you're super, excited for?
Yeah, I mean, I got there early and then I was able to practice the course. Like I had a couple 2 days where I was playing twice a day, and then we had the distance comp, and then I won that and got a little bit like extra confidence from that, honestly. But it's just I played so well last year. I got second place, and it just like I've been thinking about it ever since then. And I was honestly just mentally preparing myself for a year, pretty much, just waiting for that event because I wanted to win it so bad. It's like my favorite tournament, and then I've played there 9 years now, so I'm pretty comfortable with the course. I've had some hot rounds, and I've pretty much birdied every hole in the course in my history. So I don't know. It just all came together.
Do you think that like having the US at the end of the year and then having to play those playoff events is part of it because you're like, okay, I got to get these ones done, especially if you haven't had the season that you wanted, or
Yeah.
you're playing really well, or you come off of like the worlds, and you don't get the goal that you want, and then now you have to play these pro tour events
Mhm.
with the USDGC right behind it. is that like kind of part of the burnout? Like let me get to this major. Like
Exactly. I was like,
that's what's important.
yeah, I just remember playing Maple Hill and like the round three, I just started thinking about like what I was gonna throw on hole like 4 at USDGC. Like I was just so out of it, just thinking about the tournament, and it just I don't know. I was so excited for this event, like I couldn't focus on the other one, so it just made. I guess I just wasn't in there and just played like crap.
Yeah, like talk to us a little bit about the struggles coming into this event because you started out the season great, had some really good finishes to begin, but then coming into this event, I mean, pretty close to the last 2 months, you weren't really ever in contention to win.
Yeah,
And I mean, we all know that you can win any tournament you sign up for, but coming into USDGC, you weren't really, your name wasn't really thrown out there like, hey, this guy's playing really good disc golf right now. Watch out for him. So, like,
yeah.
walk me through, share me like what goes through your mind kind of when you are struggling leading into a tournament like you've said that's one of the ones that you've wanted to win the most.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I know like I'm gonna play. I'm gonna have like bad rounds and like they're gonna stack up on top of each other like bad day after bad day, but like a good day's coming, and that's like what I was honestly waiting for. And then haven't really ever played good at those tournaments that I played. Like Maple Hill is like it's one of my worst events like historically. So I wasn't really worried about it. I felt so good like the way I was throwing the disc and the way I was putting that week. It was just like whatever, honestly. Like I just can't wait to get to USGC. So I don't know. It's just I was just playing so bad. I don't know. But
Yeah, I mean Maple Hill is a course that you can walk off and be like, hey, I actually threw the disc pretty well. I just
yeah,
didn't score. So is that what you're saying? Like you felt like
exactly.
you knew where the disc was going, it just wasn't necessarily scoring well. So going to USDGC, it wasn't like hey, I need to tweak this form or I need to
Mhm.
figure out my aim or whatever. All that felt good leading into the tournament. It just wasn't the scores weren't adding up on the scorecard at the end of the round.
Yeah, like my sidearm at Maple Hill was feeling like better than ever has, and then that was just gave me even more confidence going into this tournament because there's so many
Oh,
like
yeah.
clutch sidearms that you need to throw, and yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we saw the final round how, I mean, we probably pretty much saw it throughout the course of the tournament with the wind being the level that it was. And Yuli kind of mentioned this a little bit before you came on. We're used to seeing a USDGC where it's like one day's really, really windy, or
hmm
maybe 2 days has some wind. It seemed like every round, wind was a factor at some point throughout the round. And having the power you have on the backhand and the sidearm, did you feel like that was a major advantage over the guys you were kind of going down the wire with at the end? That you were able to throw like your overstable venoms on like a hyzer angle where they were maybe kind of throwing it a little bit flatter and it can kind of get affected by the wind a little more?
yeah, I definitely think it was a huge advantage because I was throwing like my most overstable discs and just popping them like super hard, and the wind wasn't really affecting me at all. I pretty much had a birdie putt on almost every single hole on hole the final round, and it's just due to that like that extra win and just me having that confidence like in myself and like truly feeling like I had an advantage that whole week because it was windy
Mm.
nonstop, and like putting was the hardest part. But once I started missing those putts like in the final round, I just like knew like I was throwing the disc so well that it wouldn't even matter because I was giving myself so many opportunities.
Mm. I love that. Yeah. Where does this compare to when you won for the first time on tour? How does that the feelings of it? What can how can you describe the feelings?
It's like it felt like it felt like a bigger weight lifted off me when I won my first event at chess.com, but like just the way that this one went down with like my parents being there and like it being like the USDGC, like it's the only major we have that's been at the same course forever. And it's just like such a prestigious event. It just I don't even know. It's just a dream. Like I don't know. I don't even know.
Well, it's
But
crazy
this
too to think that only like 12 people have won
yeah,
prior to you. You're 13 now. Like seems like it's a very small club. Let's talk about your parents a little bit there. You
yeah.
mentioned it. What was it like having your parents there? What was it like having your dad on the bag? Did that kind of help down the stretch? Because it did get a little like spicy, I think, at the end, or it could have got spicy at the end.
Yeah.
So how was it having your dad on the bag there for you?
I mean, my dad, like, he wasn't really showing like that he was nervous, and I think that was helping me because
Mm.
I was just like able to feed off that, and like my dad knows that I don't really like to talk like while I'm playing, and then it was just perfect. He just gave me fist bumps at the right times, and we never really like talked about shots because he trusted my game plan as much as I do, and it was just like super comforting having him there like right by my side because like it was so unbelievably stressful that final round, just like all the people watching and then just all the weight on me to like keep that lead and maintain it the whole entire round. It was just I was so exhausted after that round. It was yeah, but and then I would go look in the crowd. I would always look for my mom to see what she was doing, where she was at, and that would like give me these extra little boosts of motivation, and it was just crazy. And then to win the tournament in front of them, they'd never seen me win before, and then to have them watch me come and win the USDGC was just all the more special.
Because at chess.com, one of the things we talked about was, yeah, I'm sure it's great to win your first time, but it's also got to be like a little extra icing on the cake when you have one of the best players in the last decade chasing you down with Ricky Wysocki.
Yeah.
Fast forward
Mhm.
here, I'm sure it's awesome to win your first major. What was it like to win it with Paul Macbeth and Ricky both chomping at the bit down the stretch there? That must have been wild.
Yeah, I mean, it's been like ever since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to battle against Paul like for a win. And then just to like see like the flashes of greatness that he does, like on hole 16 when he made that 270-foot putt. I don't even know how far it was. Like right before he putted it, me and my dad like looked at each other and like I don't know, I just knew it was gonna go in. Like it was it was unreal.
Yeah, I mean that was one of those moments where watching, we were all kind of like, after you threw your great shot, which I think that was the
Yeah.
Luna, right? You threw your Luna on there.
Yeah, if I didn't throw it into the bullseye, I was like, I don't know, like I don't know what I would be thinking if I had like a 25-footer after that, but
So we all thought the tournament was pretty much wrapped up once you threw that shot, and now all of a sudden Paul makes this crazy putt. The crowd starts going crazy. You now have that 3 minute walk up to 17. What's going on in the head? What are you thinking about in your head on that walk?
it was like it was kind of like I wasn't even really thinking anything. I just like I knew the disc I was going to throw and I knew the shot I'd practiced. I haven't really practiced like a super safe like layup play on that hole, so I just wanted to trust my game plan and throw my zone. And it was a little bit more windy, and then I popped it a little harder, and then got pretty close to the OB line, but they blew that green flag. I was like just a world of emotion in my head. I couldn't believe it.
Have you seen the video? Have you watched your
No,
video
I
of
don't even want to watch it.
of 17? You
I don't
didn't
even
see?
no, I don't want to watch it.
Okay, so you didn't see where it
Once I
actually.
once I got it, yeah, once I got up to my lie and I saw it was a foot in bounds, I was like, that's a little bit too close, but I'll take it.
It landed like 2 feet in bounds. It was
Yeah.
when you get the second to watch it. At some point, I'm sure you're going to want to watch it back. It was one
Yeah.
of those where it was like, all right, because you see this happen. We talk about it all the time. You need good kicks to win. Bad stuff's going to happen. It's just
Yeah.
how it is with disc golf, and it's just one of those where it's like you had played so well up until that point that happens. It's like, all right, this guy's destined to win this tournament. Like that's
Yeah.
what's
And
meant to happen.
it's like after that I was thinking like when I lost European Open in 2023, my disc was 6 inches out of balance, my first shot. Otherwise, I'm
Yep.
6 inches from a birdie and winning the major then. So it's like it can go either way, and it went my way this time. So
Yeah. The next question I want to ask you, maybe you and Yuli both talk about it. What were your guys' thoughts on the baskets? That was, something that was brought up going into the tournament, that they're going to try out these new baskets. It seemed like we had kind of mixed feelings from a lot of pros that played it. So we got someone that made the cut, and we got someone that won the tournament. What are your guys' thoughts on these baskets?
I didn't notice really a difference at all. Like the only spit out I saw all week was Ricky on hole 6 from his drop zone putt. But I
Mm.
didn't really see any dead center spit outs until I like saw the Niklas compilation where he got like 5 or something. But I don't mind the baskets. I think they have like the best sound in the game, and it's just like I don't know. I thought they were fine.
Yuli, basket thoughts?
Yeah, they were good. I have no problem with them. Yeah, they were good to me. I mean, you know my thoughts about baskets. Put it softer if it's coming back out to you. Hit it in a different
Yeah, I
spot.
didn't get any spit outs at all. So
Yeah. Next thing I want to talk about is, do you think that this is the world record for the farthest throw and catch? I'm not sure if you've seen this video, but it was during like the throwing expo that you guys had. Um, and I think it's Andrew Miranda at the end of
Oh my
this.
god. We're actually going to be able to catch.
And I'm not really entirely sure what the record
is that the one I threw?
is. Yes, that's you. You threw one. I think they clocked it around 650 feet, something like that.
Hmm.
I don't know what the record is for it, but I feel like this might be a world record for the longest throw and catch.
Yeah, I didn't even know he caught it. I couldn't see where it landed. It went so far to the right.
And I
But
think he
that's
ends up
sick.
giving it to the guy with the camera, which is actually shout out to that guy for not only get the video of it, but also getting the disc. But yeah, I
That's
mean,
crazy.
you might have walked away this past week a major champion and a world record holder. I don't know which one matters more to you, but speaking of ranking things, though, I do want to hear your try to step away from you just winning this past week. I would love to hear your rank of majors of like most importance or prestige or whatever it is, as far as where you would rank them, because this is kind of discussed a lot, and I think
Yeah.
USDGC has some interesting ones. So where would you rank the top where would you rank the 4 majors?
I would say this season, I would probably say Worlds. Obviously, that was the biggest tournament of all time. I think. Like, I don't know how like they can compete with how Europe ran it, but Discraft in first form will definitely put on a show. So I'm pumped for that. And then obviously, I think USDGC is second. It's like our longest standing major at the same venue, and then just being at Winthrop and all the history there, it's got to be second. And I don't know.
Flip a
I
coin.
mean, Champions Cup was at a new venue, and then European Disc Golf Festival was the first one. But I'd say the festival felt a little bit more professional, and then I put Champions Cup in fourth. But once we get Champions Cup back at New London, I think it might take that spot.
Yeah, I think if you stripped away, which you can't do because that's part of the world championship, but if you stripped away all the extra stuff that kind of comes with it, I
Yeah,
think USDGC might be up there as number one for a lot of the guys on tour as the
I
one
could
you want
agree.
to
I
win.
could agree with that, honestly. From
You know,
Yep.
like Worlds the last couple years, I don't know. It's just USDGC. I don't know. Like
it's
the
just
way that
yeah.
they have like they present the rings and stuff, and they have like the huge like it's just I don't know. The venue is just so professional. It's just
Do they
yeah.
have do they have a dinner thing? Is that a thing for the champions? Do they do something like that?
They do like a uh they do like a ceremony before the tournament where all the champions go there, and then they do like a speech for the ring ceremony. So I got to
Do you get
figure
a
out what I'm gonna
pick?
say for that.
Do you get to pick the meal?
I don't think
Is
it's
that
the
is that a
Masters
thing?
dinner.
I was gonna say, is it similar? That'd be kind of sweet.
I
Gary, you
I
got
don't think
anything?
so.
Yeah, so we had Calvin on earlier this year because, like yourself, he got over that hump of winning that first major. And one of the questions that I asked him, I want to ask you because it seems like you're talking a lot about how USDGC has been something you've been kind of fixated on. What do you do now that you've won that major? You've met the fixation with the realization, and you have that title. How do you get yourself amped up for the next one? How do you keep this fire going to win more majors? And then if that's the case, what's the next one on your list of that fixation, that visualization to get the win?
Yeah, obviously now what's on my list is like this week, honestly, like more than anything. Like I have so much confidence in myself right now. And then these two courses are just absolute beasts. So I'm super pumped to see how I play them. And then I have a lot of I want to win Champions Cup really badly because I came so close last year. I lost by one stroke. And it's at New London where I've played like really well in the past. I was leading worlds after the first round last year. Or was it last year? Yeah. I shot like 11
Yes.
under there. So that's like where my focus is going to be. And then obviously like worlds. I want to win worlds so bad, especially D-Glow, the Discraft, and First Form, both of my main sponsors. So that's going to be something I really am looking forward to. And I'm going to be very prepared for that event.
Is there any motivation to be the guy?
Oh yeah,
To
of
be
course.
to be the number one, to kind of
Yeah.
take, I think we all agree Gannon has that
Mhm.
throne right now. Is that
Yeah.
also something that you would like to kind of take a swing
Yeah,
for?
that's honestly my next two steps is to be world number one and then win worlds. Like that's like the pinnacle of the sport, and that's what I'm chasing. I want to be the best.
What are things you're going to be working on this offseason, game wise, or do you feel like everything's kind of where it needs to be and it's just more of an experience, getting reps in the spots?
It's just consistency and just staying focused, honestly. Like that's where I struggle. Like I'll have like if we play a bunch of tournaments in a row, it's like I don't know what it is, but it's like it gets so hard for me to focus, like to where I need like a week off to just like reset. But the way the schedule is laid out next year, there's only like one stretch of 3 events in a row. So I think I'll definitely be able to prepare myself better mentally and focus harder for each event.
Is that something that you've thought about though in the future? Is like picking and choosing, like, all right, I don't necessarily maybe have to go to Idlewild, or I don't necessarily have to go to this event if it means that I give myself a better chance to win the events I'm playing. Is that something that has kind of crossed your mind? Because in golf, a lot of the top
Yeah.
players, they're not going to every event week
Mhm.
in and week out. So is that something
Yeah.
that you've kind of thought about as well?
Yeah, it's definitely crossed my mind, and I'm gonna think about it when I go home this off season and like draw up what my schedule's gonna look like next year. So, but I don't know. Sometimes I can get in a groove and play 4 events in a month, and then play well, and then I don't know. I'm gonna think about it a lot this off season.
You got anything for AB?
No, man, we're just all happy. We're all happy over
Dude,
there at
thank you, man.
Discraft. We're all happy. All his buzz. We're rooting him on, and it was fun to see him win for sure.
yeah, you want to give any shout outs to Discraft? Anything that you got going on with them? I'm sure some fun stuff probably happening in the near future here.
Yeah, we're gonna have a couple commemorative discs for USDGC dropping, so I'm super excited about that. And then obviously my grip bag's out, so you can go find those at gripeq.com. And then shout out Ledgestone, Pastry Dyes, and First Form. Like they've just been there for me all season, and I couldn't have done it without them.
Well, AB, now if you wanted to play USDGC until the end of time, you can do that now.
That's
So
like what I'm most
congratulations,
excited
brother.
about. Like when I'm 50, I'm gonna definitely make the trip out and go play the
Go out
tournament for
there,
sure.
beat a bunch of youngsters still.
Still winning the distance competition.
Hopefully.
Last question for you. What is if we just had to throw it out there and like 50 years from now or 30 years from now, we'll come back to it. At what age will you not be able to cross the lake from the throwing expo spot? At what point is AB not able to clear the lake?
I don't know. I feel like it's not really that far. So hopefully like 45, 50. We had like a ripping headwind this year. And then like only like 5 discs cleared the pond at all. And then I was the only one to throw one over the road. So if we don't have a ripping headwind, then I should be clear till I'm like 45, hopefully.
50-year-old AB throwing across the lake.
Clip it,
Can't wait
people,
to
clip
see
it.
Congratulations, man. We're all proud of you over here. That was really, really fun, exciting to watch, and go enjoy it, man. I know you
Yeah,
got a
thank you.
tournament coming up, and it's unfortunately not one that you can kind of just wake up and just go out there and throw. It's very challenging
Yeah.
tournament coming up, but enjoy it, man. That was awesome to watch. Congratulations, brother.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you having me on here.
Of course. Take it easy. There you have it. USDGC 2025 champion, Anthony Barela, man. Wow. It's crazy, Yuli. It really does feel like yesterday that we were just saying, like, just wait, guys, just wait. Like he's gonna be a problem. And it's like, well, here we are. He's a problem.
Yeah, he is, and it's like it's a weird thing to me because I feel like there's still something extra in there. You
Yep.
Well,
know,
let's talk about it.
like
Yep.
like my thoughts are, yeah, he won. Yeah, yes, but it's not like a polished as it can be. And so over the next few years, if he can figure whatever that is, then who knows how good the kid's gonna get, you know?
Well, we
Let's
hear it all
yeah.
the time. The
Go ahead.
sentiment they put the title after his name, highest ceiling in disc golf. So I mean, there's a lot of belief out there that he can be the person to do it.
And this is a tournament that the way the course is set up, you can blow up a lead. And I know we were all thinking it coming down to it. And I'm
Yeah.
sure it was probably popping in his head too, of like, okay, don't do this again. You're right there. 16, you can take a double on 16, maybe a bogey. Double might be tough. 17, we've seen it before. People take big numbers on 17. And then 18, I mean, we saw Ricky. He had a re-tee from the previous day, where now you're throwing 3 from the tee. So the fact that he went out there, got 17 on the green, got it done, very impressive. But I'm with you, Yuli. It could have been a bloodbath, right? He misses birdie putts on 2, 8, and 14, all inside the circle. He only ends up shooting 1 under through the final 7 holes. Like it could have been a bloodbath. He could have won this
I
thing
think
by
that's
6 or 7.
absolutely, absolutely. I think that's one of the things that really hurt him early on in his career is down the stretch it was little mistakes. And so like he said we had a talk, you know, after Worlds, and that's one of the things that I told him is I said, listen, the way you're going to win isn't like you think. Like you're going to make mistakes. You're going to miss short putts. You're going to crack under the pressure, but everybody does. Like it's very rare you see somebody go mistake free and just blow everybody out. I'm like, that's not how major champions are or major championships are won. They're won by you getting a lead and holding on for dear life because everybody wants that and they're going to put the pressure. Macbeth's going to make that putt. And I told him that too. I said, listen, down the stretch, these guys are going to come after you. How it doesn't matter how good you're playing. You might even catch bad breaks. You might throw it perfect. Like you can't like let the little mistakes happen and then take you off course. Like you're gonna choke. Like, but keep going, you know, because that's how it's gonna look. It's not gonna look like this beautiful thing that we want it to in our mind, to where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come down, I'm gonna birdie the last 6, and then I'm gonna win. Like it never happens like that.
And looking at it, he misses that birdie putt we talked about on hole 2, comes back on hole 3, throws, I think, the farthest I've ever seen on that shot, gets all the way down in the gully to have an easy low chip up birdie. Then he misses the birdie putt on hole 8, makes a really nice putt on hole 9, a really tricky kind of straddle on a knee around the tree putt on hole 9. And then hole 14, throws a great tee shot, throws a great second shot, just gets a really unlucky kind of roll away. And that's one of those greens where you definitely want to kind of be right underneath the basket on hole 15, because you can get kind of stuck behind some trees. But I like seeing that from him, Yuli. The bounce back after some missed putts, right? Putts that you should make. It didn't seem like he then compounded them and threw the next shot OB or something.
Well, when you think about the way that these tournaments are won, it's usually somebody makes some miraculous putt. It's never like 20-footer and 20-footer, and it's all everybody's missing. Like a lot of people fumble a major championship because everybody's fumbling at once, and it's who makes that great shot in order to like push it over the top. You know what I mean? And that's why I really think like the patience. That's what I was kind of most proud of. Is like, no, the mistakes that he made, the short putts that he missed, kept going. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
I think that's what was the thing that I was trying to teach him is like it's okay. Like so you're going to miss. Like expect that and then don't get down on yourself because I know in the past when I've lost major championships, it's because I missed and then I'm like, yeah, you're a choke artist, dude. That's what you do. And I wish,
Yeah.
no, but that's what your mind goes there once it
Well, he
happens
kind of
over and
talked
over
about
and
that a
over.
little bit
Yeah.
too.
Right. And so I wish I had somebody tell me like, no, that's just what happens. Like that's not
Hmm.
what you are. It's just what happens to everybody. Like how many times has Macbeth choked down the stretch of big tournaments? All the time. And he's the
Yeah.
Hmm.
greatest champion that we've ever seen, but he chokes all the time. That's one of the things that I've said on here is like the best players in the world actually choke more than anybody else. They also win more, but they're
Hmm.
always in
Mhm.
contention. You know what I mean?
He
Yeah.
also he also did a great job stepping through doors that were kind of open to him. Coming off of the
Yes.
big putt on 9, Macbeth steps up on 10 and does the play that he's been doing all week long and throws out of bounds, and not deterred by that at all. AB gets the eagle, like just taking an opportunity and capitalizing instead of, because I think that's the other big thing is that a lot of guys want to be the guy in that moment that can go, I can do this big thing, and they kind of fumble it themselves. But to execute in that moment in the wind and just feel that
Yeah.
part of your game, that's incredible.
Yeah. No, I think he did a great
Well, I think
job
that's
of
what we see from
of
Gannon
not
a
doing
lot.
match play. Go ahead, Yuli.
Yeah, I think that's what we see from Gannon a lot is
Mm,
he knows everybody's gonna make mistakes, including him, and he's got like this calm, cool demeanor of like, I'm just gonna
yeah.
chill right through there, you know. And I see it all the time to where it's like, then you see the people fall apart around, and then it's out for the races.
So let's go. I don't want to go too far down the leaderboard because Yuli, I know you're on borrowed time here, so I want to try to get you out here quick. Um, and
Appreciate
and
that.
quite frankly, my back is absolutely spazzing out of control right now. So I do just want to talk a little bit about Ricky and then Paul. We'll get to him in a second. So Ricky ends up coming out second round, guns blazing, shoots, ties the course record at 13 under par with a bogey on the final hole there. This is classic Ricky. He's going to have those incredible rounds, but then he's also going to have those rounds that make it tough for him to win these tournaments because he comes out round 3 and kind of shoots a dud round of 3 under par or 2 under par, excuse me. And we kind of see he did bounce back great on the back 9, really the last 10 holes, getting 6 birdies out of the last 10 holes to end up shooting 2 under that day. But we also saw him kind of come out slow again. He's 1 under par through the first 10. And it's tough. He had a lot of bad breaks. I will be the first to say that. A lot of bad breaks. Um, but that is what we've kind of have seen from Ricky the last few seasons of where
mm,
it's really just like one round or like a stretch of holes that kind of gets him too far back and he's just not able to battle himself back, even though he's trying as much as possible. I mean, he had the best final stretch, getting 5 birdies there out of the last 8 holes. So he had a great finish, but it's just like those early things. What do you think Ricky needs to do this offseason, Yuli, to be able to come back next season and turn some of these super close calls into W's?
Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I don't think he needs to do anything, honestly. I think when you put yourself in that position time after time after time after time after time, he's eventually gonna get through. I mean, he's one of the most prolific winners in our sport, Ricky
Mm,
Wysocki. I mean, he's he already still has that thing, and he's losing it a little bit of where everybody's terrified of him when he's
yeah.
there and he's playing well. But I don't think he's had his best stuff, to be honest. I don't think he's had his
Yeah, it
best
doesn't
stuff,
seem like
and
it.
he's still right there. And so, I mean, it just takes a week where not everybody's playing great, and he's gonna get plenty more wins.
I want to ask.
Yeah.
I want to ask a question that may come off as really obtuse, but one of the things that I think you need to look at is sometimes off the course. Do you think this is just an outside observer's opinion? the night. So Ricky goes out in round 2 and throws the amazing round. Stays out after that round, probably later than needs to. Ping pong challenge, whatever. Comes out the next day and has his worst round of the event. That night stays up late and he's on, whatnot, sound disc. I'm not saying you can't do those things, but like, do you think at any point it's like the guy just in these major moments needs to just take a moment and rest a bit? Like, is he doing too much? It just, like I said, it may be obtuse, maybe silly that for a world champ of his standard, this doesn't matter at all. It's just another part of the job.
What place did he get?
So I understand that. He got third. Or not third. I'm sorry, wrong.
Tied for second.
No, he got
Tied for
second. He tied for second. So one guy beat him. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
yeah,
I
you're trying to
understand.
find shots all over the place. So sure. I mean, trying to stay extra focused, but sometimes then you can wear yourself out mentally too, thinking about that and having something to take the mind away and to stay active is helpful too. It's just who I'm sure there's been nights and he's on what is it, a major drought since 2017.
Yeah,
it's
Is
like
that right?
a lot. It's a lot of
And so
days.
I'm sure he's tried different
All sorts
things.
of different stuff.
Yeah, he's had a long
Mhm.
time to do different things, and I think it's just like I said, it's a matter of time. The guy's too good.
Yeah,
For
and
sure.
I think you do open, Gary, to your point, I think you do open criticism from people when you
Mhm.
aren't necessarily like 100% locked in. But that being said, like if it works for him, that's really all that kind of matters.
Yeah.
And I think he does a pretty good job too of canceling out the noise of what others are saying and just focusing on what works for him. Um,
Mhm. Well,
and
you wouldn't be at his level if you couldn't do those things. I just, like I said, I think it's fair to sit back and like, I almost wonder when he showed the picture of his ankle before MVP. It's like, man, he doesn't really have to play in this event. It'd be great to get the win and stuff like that, but with a major coming up and things like that, is this the time to take some time off,
yeah,
and give yourself a chance? And just they're questions that I think fans ask sometimes. That's like
100%.
worth
If you
getting the
don't
No, it's
win,
a
moment.
you're
fair
always
question.
gonna. Yeah, if you don't
It's a
win,
fair question.
you're
Yeah.
gonna have those questions. Shout out
Yeah,
to Andy. He says, Yuli,
more.
how much fun was it playing with Schultz and Feldberg? I had a
Mm,
blast following you guys and watching three of the greats at Winthrop. So many stories.
It was one of the funnest rounds of my year. I'm not gonna lie. It was hilarious. I loved every second of it. I mean, playing with Dave's always a blast. Playing with Barry, it was awesome to see him out there and play. And you see those signs of greatness from them with a few shots, but they're just out there doing their thing. And Felberg was hilarious. Like he just didn't care at all. And like we get to it's a funny story. We get to hole 13, and we're all having a pretty good time to this at this point, and we're all chatting, and he throws a pretty good drive, and then he just throws this dime to the long pin, just parks it. And we're all like, dude, we're playing the short position today, Dave. And we all just start busting up. He's like, oh, well, goes up there and chucks it over there. But it was a good time catching up with those guys for sure.
I think one of the first times I had like an interaction with Barsby, I believe was on hole 17. I think it was the first time I'm playing USDGC. I'm having somewhat of like a decent round to where I'm thinking, okay, I can maybe make the cut if I play good another 2 rounds. And he like comes up to me and he's like, you want to do like a CTP close to the pin? And I'm like thinking in my head, like, what? I'm in the middle of a tournament. I'm on the hole that has like probably the highest stress of any hole I've played. Like the last thing I want to do, Barsby, is have an additional bet with you for the closest to the pin situation. But some of those older guys that have been doing it for so long, they're just out there. They're just out there like there's nothing. And I'm just
They both
I had
they
to go
both
my
birdied
chalk bag so
18
many
too,
times. Did they?
which was oh yeah, they both dimed 18.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
Close to the pin, hole 17. I'm like, brother, I'm trying to get this thing in bounds.
Was he in hair up or hair down mode when he asked you that question?
I think he was rocking the ponytail.
Love it.
But yeah, really good stuff from Ricky. You know, he's still out there doing his thing, and excited to kind of see what it transpires next going to next season. Okay, want to touch on Paul real quickly. Obviously, the putt on hole 16, that will be a highlight that will live on throughout USDGC history. But my biggest takeaway, and Yuli, I would love for you to tell me either I'm an idiot or I'm spot on. I think my biggest takeaway from Paul is he either doesn't throw far enough anymore, or he doesn't trust the shot that he has to throw to get that distance. Because there was multiple times where Ricky, Calvin, AB are clearing the trouble with no problem, and Paul is landing short in OB zones and almost kind of like bewildered that it didn't clear. Is that a good take or a bad take? Because I think ultimately that's what ended up being the demise to him winning this thing, was a handful of shots of where he was throwing it. I remember hole 9 it happened. I believe it happened on hole 12. A couple times where it just seemed like he didn't have the juice to clear when everyone else did.
I think he's throwing the wrong shot. I don't think it's a juice thing. I think it's a decision making thing, if I'm being honest. And not a decision making thing, like a habit. Uh, I see a lot of other guys throwing like the flex, like starting
Mm.
it on a Anheuser in the wind and getting there, and he's throwing pushing hyzers. And what happens with that is the wind can fluctuate, and if you don't get the pop right, that wind will slow it way down to where with an Anheuser, it's easy to get spin because you're coming over the top, and so the disc is kind of ripping out a little faster. And I think it's a shot selection thing. He throws plenty far still, plenty far,
Mhm.
but I
Because
think he falls in love with the flip hyzer. I really do.
on hole 12, what we saw, I think it might have been round 3 or round 2. He throws like that hyzer flip down, downhill, and it just turns and it goes. And we saw it also on hole 3. He had one that just turned and went almost to like the old tee pad on hole 3, just way out in the middle of nowhere.
That's
And then we see him make the correction on the final round. He throws something more stable, and he doesn't throw the flex. He throws it like flat, and it comes up short in the OB. So you're saying maybe a shot needs to be kind of like that Annie out of your hand with an overstable disc that's going to flex out a little bit more.
for sure. So, well, that I mean, it's crazy to try to like pick apart Paul McBeth's game, but
No,
if
but
I
you
were
have
to,
to. You
yeah,
have to, because it's
yeah,
right there.
I really think I really think if we think about all the shots that those shots are all headwind shots.
Yeah.
He's throwing a hyzer flip into a headwind. Where's the miss going to be? It's either going
Mm.
to be nose up low, it's going to be perfect, or it's going to flip too much. And those are the three things that we saw. To where flex, you either flex it or it's left. You got two options. With an overstable disc for the most part. It's very rare that somebody throws a flex shot and it never comes back because you're trusting the overstable disc. So that's kind of that would be my critique.
To get that flex. Yeah, the overstable flex shot and wind is such an OP shot.
Mhm.
It really is. All right. Anything else from the MPO side? Want to bounce over to FPO if we can.
Yeah, shout out Austin Turner. Big time
Oh
tournament again. He's been
gosh,
very,
I
very, very,
know.
very slow. Um,
Yeah,
and
great to
then
see him up the leaderboard there.
ab absolutely that was cool to see. And then not the best tournament from Gannon. I mean, we were kind of glossing over that, but
Yep.
slow through the whole thing, didn't make a push on Sunday. That was surprising to me.
Yep.
It seemed like from his post interviews after his round, it seemed like he was trying to kind of almost will himself into thinking like I'm playing a lot better than my score is, which is I think what you have to do, right? You want to go
Well,
in
he's
with the
probably right.
confidence. Yeah, you want to go in with the confidence, and it just seemed like he kind of had a lot of those 50-50 shots that you can have out there not go his way. And but yeah, I mean, watching him, it didn't look like his A game. It didn't.
Hmm.
You know, and it's like tough to see. But yeah, didn't see that he had his A game. But he also might have just kind of got knocked out of it early with a lot of bad breaks, which he did get a lot of bad breaks early
Yeah.
on. But everyone probably got some decent amount of bad breaks out there. So anything else MPO side?
No.
Just a shout out to my boy Jesse Longenecker, 30th place, thrust upon the main stage. Good stuff.
There you go. All right, Missy Gannon. We kind of saw this coming a mile away. As far as I think we all picked her as the favorite going into this tournament, and it just seems like this course, the decision making that you have to make out there, and just the fact that if you are super consistent and able to throw safe, good shots, you can score really well. I mean, we've seen Kristen win this tournament when she didn't even have her best stuff just by throwing the disc in bounds. Really impressive stuff. I think she won the tournament in round 3 when she went out there and shot a 10 under round. I mean, she ends up finishing 13 under par after shooting 10 under in one round. I mean, that's impressive stuff. I think that's the round we're all going to remember after this tournament. But really impressive stuff. Anything you guys have to say about Missy?
I was looking for this specifically after last week when you mentioned this, Yuli, about her demeanor on the card compared to other people. And you saw such nervous energy coming from the rest of lead card that even after she missed the island on 17, she walks back with a huge smile on her face as if it's nothing. And that has got to be it just takes the knees out of you as a competitor to see someone so relaxed and nonchalant. So that was a great call out on your part last week and something I was watching for big time this week.
Would we have seen the same reaction if she had to rethrow that throw, though, Gary? Maybe she was smiling because she knew she had to go to that easy drop zone.
That's a good question. I believe that Missy probably still would smile. She seems like the type.
Yuli, what are your thoughts on that drop zone, by the way, for 17 for the FPO field?
I think it should be the
Love
same
it or hate it
for them. Not a big fan. I think I want to see more out of them. Yeah.
I think the FPO field's good enough now to where you're not. I mean, and they still have the rule of what it's like. If you throw 4 OB, you advance to the green, right? Is that what it is?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, thoughts on Missy?
Three.
Your 4th shot is from the green.
You're on. Yeah. No, exactly like we thought. I think it's hilarious not hilarious, but it's ironic that she wins pretty much the same way every week. She kind of just pars out and everybody falls apart around her and she's figured out a way to win. I would not change a single thing. And that's not taking anything away. You know, she doesn't have to birdie.
Playing great.
It doesn't seem like kind of down the stretch.
Yeah, I love watching her play down the stretch. Just the way that she kind of, I think she does a great job of figuring out where other players are.
Yeah, and
making them have to come chase her.
She glides.
She's a great winner. Like she you need me to what she needs to do to just win the tournament. I don't know.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously we can talk about a little bit the top players here. Anna Lee, great performance by her. Really, I think we've seen her a little bit on the European side have some good finishes, but this was the first time I remember her kind of in the conversation over on U.S. soil. Comes out hot, shooting 5 under par, then is leading the tournament going into round 3 after going 1 under in second round at 6 under par. Continuing to lead the tournament by 1 shot after shooting 7 under in round 3 and ends up in second place, which, funny enough, the layup she had on 17 was the thing that ultimately ended up her getting second place over Silva. But when it happened, I mean, that's the one thing. I mean, besides the fact that she played great, it was fun to watch her play. That her sidearm definitely was a massive advantage. You could tell that was definitely helping her carve up the course more than Missy and Silva not being able to utilize that. But what were your guys' thoughts on hole 17? Her laying up her birdie putt, knowing Missy is going to take a number and basically making it to where had she made that birdie, has she birdied hole 18, all she needed Missy to do is bogey 18, which is very feasible to have happen. What are your guys' thoughts on the layup there?
I feel like it's a just maybe hasn't been there enough in that moment, and it's the experience thing.
Like, did she not think she could win? Was that the thought? She was just playing for second at that point?
I don't know. I mean, she's been playing really well recently. Had a great GMC, but and her putt was pretty solid, I think, through most of the event. So I was very surprised to not see her go for it, and I don't know if it's just is that another thing where you need someone on the bag who is kind of feeding you that information? Don't
Yeah,
know.
what are your thoughts there, Yuli? Because we see one end of the spectrum, we see Paul Macbeth try to ace hole 17, right? Goes OB, takes a double, ends up tying Ricky for second, where he could have easily played 17, 18 for second place. And then we see FPO, she's laying up. I'm trying to remember, was it inside a circle?
No, I don't think it was. Just
I'm
out.
trying to remember. It was just outside? Okay. But what are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think she was just playing for second place at that point?
I don't know. I don't know. I would think you run that putt 100 times out of 100 times. But also 18 is kind of a crazy hole where you can take big numbers, like 3-stroke swing there. That's a double and a birdie. It's not
To be
that.
fair, a double
It's
and a
not
bogey.
that.
Yeah.
It's not that out of the ordinary for somebody to take a massive number on 18.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, but that's to say that you birdie 18. Like you can grab one right away, right there. It's like, are you gonna throw it so good to where you have that same putt on 18 and then you have to run it there? It's right there in front of you. You should run that. Yeah, you should run
I just
that for
gotta
sure.
think too. I think she ends up taking what, $3,000 more than Silva and third.
It's a great layup. Fine.
Yeah.
I got to feel like the win
And
is
Missy did end up
worth it.
bogeying
Yep.
On what?
is the thing.
On 18? She
18.
parred. She took a
She parred
5.
18. Yeah, she parred 18.
Yeah, she took a 5.
She parred. Okay.
And Annalie did she birdied 18 in round 1, parred it in round 2, but bogeyed it in round 3.
You got to put a little bit of
Yeah.
pressure. You got to
Yeah.
birdie that hole.
Yeah, you gotta make
you
it.
can't
do it.
You gotta make it.
you
gotta
can't
do it.
lay up. You can't lay up. And then last thing I have with FPO, Silva's implosion at the end.
Ooh.
Did not see that coming.
No.
And did not see it coming from the putting on hole 16. Was not expecting to see a 3-putt drop on hole 16. So not really quite sure what happened there.
She looked different. She looked
Yeah,
different. Something going on.
I have no idea.
The moment for me was on hole 15, staring down the triple Mando, and she's on the tee pad, and she kind of like has the disc in her hand, and she keeps looking back at her bag, and just is taking forever. And she early releases it into the trees. I'm surprised, as one of the best, probably the best standstill backhand thrower in the FPO division, that she doesn't just throw it that way, eliminate the problem for herself. It's only 180 feet, I think, off the tee pad for them. So I don't know. Very surprising.
Let's see a 180 next year. Let's see Silva come out and just be like the most expressive player ever.
Yeah.
She's just banging putts and being like, hiya! Just to the crowd.
Just ban her phone.
Yeah, or if you miss a putt, maybe go with like the punching a tree or something. I don't know. See what happens. You got to mix it up. Our girl own Scoggins, guys, she is plagued at this course with just tough holes. I looked at it because obviously we had picked her, and it just looks like there's a couple holes out there that, man, if you remove these holes, she's cooking. Second round, she was 5 over on hole 5. Third round, she took a triple on hole 5. And in the final round, she went 5 over on hole 9. She lost 13 shots right there.
5 destroyed the FPO field this weekend.
Oh, brutal. So hopefully we can get Owen figuring out some of those holes because watching her play that course would be really, really fun down the stretch. All right, pick 'em results. I guess this is like the season finale. I guess this is it. We won. I kind of
By
knew
a
that was going to
bunch.
happen.
Crushed them.
By a ton.
Very weird. Our picks are almost identical again. However, we picked Paige, they picked Kat, so we got 8 points on them. But yep, we finished the season with 1,102.8 points. They finished with 917.6. We win by 185.2. Very excited for next season because
What do we
Edwin
win?
said we win cheers from our beloved audience, all of you guys listening. I don't know. Maybe next year we'll actually have like a cup or something to fight for.
Make 1-0 t-shirts.
Yeah. But I think this upcoming season next year we'll have some changes. I know Edwin's working on some stuff that might make it a little bit more exciting, might make it to where we're not always picking the same people. So we'll see kind of what he has in store for us. Boys, do you have anything else for the people? You got anything else coming out? Anything you want to shout out?
No, we got some cool stuff coming out from Vessi. I can't say exactly what, but some new stuff. So go check that out. You get that nice little discount on the screen.
Vessi.com/Yuli for 15% off, folks.
That's right. But no, I'm gonna go get some food and go to bed.
Gary, you got anything?
Nope. No, sir.
Tour Championship coming up this week, guys. Make sure you stop by the Foundation booth. They're going to be having new releases all week, discs and merch. They've got the Money Flake Cigara, Glow Passions, Test Flight Ricky. Is it the Halux? Is that how you pronounce it?
Alex?
Holix? Holix, the red, white, blue Buzzsaw. You guys can go to dgpt.com/event to pick up your tickets for that. They'll also have the Halloween Buzz out there, and then some videos dropping this week. Bogey Bros versus Editors coming out tomorrow. We played the most hated discs. Very interested to see what the most hated discs are. I know my most hated disc. What's your most hated disc? We'll get that before we go. Yuli, most hated disc. What do you got?
Ever?
What's your most hated disc?
I think I threw a truth once and it hurt my hand.
Gary, most hated disc.
End of a groove.
I'm going with the Rattler. And all you people out there said I was going to love the Rattler. That thing slices my hand. Despise the Rattler. But I love the Meteor. Meteor, hot fire. Imposter Season 2, folks, drops October 23rd. You are not going to want to miss it. It is an absolute hoot this season. A lot of drama, a lot of disc golf. Should be fun. Thank you, Yuli. Go get some sleep. Gary, as always, thank you. PJ and Mike, thank you. Enjoy those Vessies. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.